Hello, and welcome to the special episode of the New Grad Diaries, I guess. My name's Maria. I had a series that I ended a few weeks ago called the New Grad Diaries about me trying to get a new grad software engineering job, and I got one, and you all know that I'm going back to Twitch. And if you also watched that video, you'll know that I rejected a bunch of companies that I was supposed to do final round interviews for. I was super overwhelmed at the time because of a combination of school and work, but now I'm in my last semester of school, and apparently a lot of companies realize that, and I'm getting so many emails, sometimes from like multiple different people at the same company emailing me, and I have not been reading those, so I should probably reply to those and say no thanks. But one of these emails piqued my interest. It was because it's from a recruiter from ByteDance, which is the owner of TikTok. I was like, okay, I just want to see how this works because I applied to TikTok back in October, or no, like September or something. I did their online assessment at the beginning of October, never heard back from them. 4 months later, they're like, oh yeah, we'd like to interview you for a software engineer new grad, in brackets, data-architecture. They told me to send them times. They chose the earliest one, which is within 1 week. So I would only have 1 week to study, and that was last week. And now I have only 3 days to study because I was busy with a lot of school stuff, and I also had a hackathon this weekend, so I did not study. I did not do any LeetCode. I haven't done LeetCode for like 4 months, and I asked them, can you send me like what will be in the interview? And they said that it will be a 45 to 60 minute coding interview for the first round with 2 medium to hard level questions. So now that I have 3 days to study, and I don't even want to study, I am going to try to LeetCode and prepare. It's also my reading week, so that's like a week we get off from school to study and prepare for midterms. So I should be doing that too. So yeah, basically this video is gonna be me failing a TikTok interview. And I'm also on TikTok. If you want to follow me, I'm at Mimi Codes. Hopefully they don't ask me anything about TikTok because my taste in TikToks are very strange. I don't like educational TikToks. I like the TikToks where it's like someone throwing the cheese at the wall or something, or someone hiding cheese in a book. Yeah, that's my sense of humor. Hello, it's a few hours later and I've been procrastinating doing LeetCode because I don't want to. One of my friends sent this link to a Reddit post about how you shouldn't even have to code LeetCode. Just go read about patterns and like read the answers to problems in specific patterns of LeetCode questions. I think my plan for today is to just look up questions that TikTok asked people to do and read those solutions or watch videos on those solutions because I'm sure they're out there on YouTube somewhere. Messaging with my friend Jerry is just aiding and abetting to me procrastinating even more because he's doing so many interviews too and he hasn't even LeetCoded at all so far. Yeah, you know what I did instead? I decided to message in the anime Discord server for my school and ask them for bingeable animes and they gave me like 4 different ones. I also, yeah, I have like so many things I want to get done and I want to go places and see people, but then all of like my group projects, they're like, oh, let's meet this evening, that evening, let's meet at this random time. So it just ruins all my plans. Also, if you're wondering what they recommended Kira, BNA, and Skate the Infinity. I think I want to start with Skate the Infinity. I want to learn how to skateboard too. I have been procrastinating LeetCoding and I don't want to. My interview is tomorrow. Even though it's only 45 minutes, I still want to try my best, you know, and like just that everything in my head right now is all school stuff or work stuff. Yeah, all the things in my head, it's like Mahalanobis distance for data mining, and then Korean for writing my Korean video script. Too many things. Like, yeah, I just don't want to do LeetCode. And I asked my friends, how do I force myself to do something that I don't want to do? And one of them said, just count to 10 and then do it. But I don't even know how to like approach LeetCode anymore. Okay, right now I'm just opening up a million tabs of all the relevant ones that I found, like all the interview questions for like software engineer specifically, or backend or data engineer. Okay, I'm gonna make some hot chocolate and do this. I will actually do this. I will prep for an interview that I shouldn't be doing, but I will do it. Oh god, okay, I'm looking at this question and I've done it before. It's path sum number 2. I think I've done all the path sum questions and I'm just like, wow, I don't remember Python. So that's not good because I'm gonna be using it tomorrow. Okay, So now I know that there's some website called leetcoding where you can solve premium LeetCode questions, so that's cool. Good morning, it's the day of my TikTok interview. I finished the other thing that I needed to do this morning, which was my Korean script, writing my last scene that I needed to do because we have to film a video. It's going to be very interesting trying to film on campus and just speaking in Korean randomly. The rest of the day I'm going to spend watching anime and preparing for my interview. I wonder if they'll ask me anything about data engineering, so I should also review what I did last year when I was on a data engineering team because it's been a while. I shouldn't have done this because first of all, it's extra stress, extra random work for me to do, like studying this stuff, which makes no sense just because I want to like give it my all, you know, like try my best in the interview. But it's like for 45 minutes. And for what? What's going to happen after it? Nothing. What happens if I fail? Nothing. I don't know what's wrong with me. Why did I decide to do this? I shouldn't be allowed to interview. I like this title. I just finished my interview and it was so nice. Okay, it was funny because the guy couldn't like join because he had to restart his entire laptop and everything was so bad. So we started like 15 minutes late and then he gave me 2 questions. Yeah, they're pretty normal. I think, okay, the first one was kind of hard because it was like, oh, create this new data structure with these specific methods, like these functionalities that are in the data structure. A few of them were easy, but then one of them was hard. Like I've had questions like that in the past. So one of them was more difficult to solve. And then I thought of an interesting way to solve it. He thought it was an interesting way, so that's maybe a good sign. Yeah, but it worked, so that was good. And I showed that I can test things, but I also was kind of rusty with Python. I was like, well, define init, like making classes. The second question, he's like, oh, we have like 20 minutes left. Like, let me give you another question. It was also like something with strings. And he was always asking me like, oh, what's the runtime? What's the time complexity of this stuff? And I kind of messed up a little bit in the second question, but like he led me along and I was like, okay, it's this then. That one I understood more, but I kind of got mixed up at the beginning because I was like, oh, let's do this thing. But no, it's too complicated. And then he's like, okay, how about you break things down? So I think he was really good at leading me towards like doing things, you know, instead of just saying things out loud and being like, oh no, this doesn't make sense. Like once I actually got typing and like explaining my thoughts, then I showed like I know what I'm doing. It was asking me in the first question like, oh, what could break? Like what could go wrong? Think of some test cases that could break what your implementation is now and then try to fix that. So I think that was really good. It was intimidating at first, but it was really fun and I don't think the questions were too hard. And at the end I asked him about his team, and this is like a data architecture role. His team is the recommendations team, the one that doesn't do the actual algorithm for recommendations, but is one that does all like the data engineering side of that and like storage and things like that. And he told me like there are different technologies. He said mostly C++ and Python. And he said there is some Golang, but he doesn't have to touch that as much. AWS and Google BigQuery and different things that they use. And he was saying that all the people on his team are pretty new to TikTok, like maximum 1.5 years there, because their US branch is very new and recent. Because TikTok has existed like as Musical.ly for 6 years now, he said, but their US branch is very new. And he said that like half the team, their titles are SRE, like Site Reliability Engineer, and the other half is SWE. And I asked him what's the difference. He said there's no line between them. So an SRE can do something that a SWE does. Like it's nothing stopping them. So I think that's really cool. And what I thought was super interesting that he said that I've never heard at any other company is that you can't tell the level of seniority of anyone at TikTok, because that helps people who have ideas and who aren't like staff engineers or something. It helps them be able to give their ideas and voice their opinions. So hopefully this interview went well. I think it was pretty good actually. I'm surprised, but yeah, we'll see what happens. And guess what? I got into the next round. Just kidding, I actually got rejected, but at least my mom was happy because then I stopped interviewing. I hope you liked the video and thanks for watching.